How's it going, ladies and Brucers? I'm Bobby Sixkilla, and today we're going to be checking out a game called 111, or rather the demo of a game called 111. This game is not out yet, but the demo is absolutely available, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to go check it out. I was contacted by the developer of the game, who is apparently also a Twitch streamer, VV Latvia I think it was, and they asked me if I could cover it because it is the perfect sort of thing for the channel. So it is a visual novel, stylistic, black and white game type deal. So I thought it'd be perfect. We'll jump in, do half an hour, see what we think. You guys let me know what you guys think. Maybe we could do more demo or wait for the full game and cover it when it comes out like we usually do, but I'm excited to get in and see what it's all about. I haven't looked at it really at all. I looked at the Steam page and downloaded it, and here we are. I leaned over my creation for the 100th time, ran my fingers over the joints checking its strength. The birdhouse had a feeder, a swing, a round entrance, and a varnished roof with wood-burn carving. Someone knocked on the door. I put down the hammer and picked up the mail. Taking the newspaper, I ran through the list of jobs and vacancies. There was something new on the back. Speed dating? My friends love that kind of thing. I still keep their numbers in my notebook, next to the old disc phone. I dialed the first digits. Watching the dial disc slowly go back, I suddenly realized everyone already has a lady, and they're probably with them right now. Get stupid thoughts out of my head and keep decorating the birdhouse. Break through and try to find a Nah, I'm good. Birdhouse is good for me. The next morning I went out on the porch as usual to pick up the newspaper. To my surprise, I saw a picture of the very place where yesterday's dating session had taken place on the front page. Below was a vivid picture of an old lighthouse, and in large letters there was a title, Crimson Thunderstorm. I hurriedly flipped the page to the next one and ran my eyes through the lines, a massacre, 5 victims, men and women, killer not found, 2 missing people, their portraits and names. I could have been there. I could have been one of them, and my friends would have found out that I'm dead through the newspapers. The world has gone mad. The smooth surface of the morning coffee suddenly started to be interrupted by small waves. My hands were shaking nervously, and I rushed to the shower to wash the terrible news out of my mind. Awesome, I picked everything worked out and you just win. The end. Alright, new game. Let's get back to this, shall we? Break free and try to find a partner on speed dating. I guess that's what I was meant to do. Although, you know, I didn't get killed, so that was pretty cool. The opposite of coffee today. Vodka. The train arrived at the station right on time. It's nice that at least something in our world remains punctual. The driver honked his horn and I began my trip to the lowlands. The narrow river was crossed by an old stone bridge. The once beautiful structure was in a bad need of restoration. The stones were quite worn out and centuries-old mud had settled between them. The local authorities seemed to have no intention to repair the bridge, so that its archaic nature and look would attract tourists. There were dozens of tourist cars with foreign license plates in the parking lot. The wind blew and I pulled up the collar of my favourite and only jacket. Perhaps I should have dressed up, as many people judge you by your clothes first. But on the other hand, we definitely will not get together with modern ladies obsessed with the fashion industry and care for looks. And it's better to dot the I's and cross the T's immediately. The pavement ended, the treetops closed over my head, and the untidy foliage-covered path went sharply upward. I wonder why they couldn't do a good job of paving a decent road right away. Dig ditches for the drain, decorate the curbs. I felt a burning desire to buy a broomstick and improve the local trails. Don't they really care that their park is in such disrepair? The cries of seagulls means that the coast was already very close. As I climbed the hill, I pleasurably breathed in the humid sea air. There was a tall lighthouse looming in the distance, a proud and lonely symbol of a bygone era, a majestic monument to human mastery. Imagine the inspiration with which the architects were beholding their work, realizing that the lighthouses would survive the centuries, which means that they left their mark on history, that they had not lived their lives in vain. A large 3-story modern-style restaurant spoiled the beautiful scenery. A huge jeep stood in the shade of the building in the parking lot, looking like its owner had been a wealthy man. So my languid, lonely weight was off, and I got so used to it. The hand on the clock in the hallway was at 6 PM. That was early, even by my standards. A group of tourists in ridiculous caps didn't even notice me. A large man, apparently the owner of the place, armed with a charming smile, shook my hand. The collar of his yellow shirt was tied around his pumped neck. Behind the counter, there was a busy, pudgy lady in an apron, and at my appearance, she stopped cleaning glasses for a moment and made an inviting gesture toward the bar stools that were empty. The people who greeted me seemed welcoming and warm. Looked like there wouldn't be any traditional awkwardness of the first introduction. Can we click a person? I'm good at the bar, man.
Вы садитесь, садитесь. Что-то больно вы серьезны для нашего заведения. Я так понимаю,
Alright, I'm just gonna, like I always do with when it's in a different language, I'm just gonna pause the dialogue and just voice over it. You know, like I always do with the Japanese ones as well. Sit at the table, please. Come on, honey. Sit at the table. Quite a stressful look for our place, I dare say. So, you're here for speed dating, ain't you? My name's Renata, and I'm helping with dating tonight. Oh, you know what? There was a tourist here right before you, so stern and gloomy, thinking about something and scratching his head. I said to him, your glass is so empty, darling. How about another one? And he bulged at me like a lemur. Why would I need another empty glass? See what weirdos roam the world? My whole life still wondering. Oh, of course. Do you want a drink, honey? Yes. The strong drink burned my throat, and my usual stiffness and tightness faded into the distance. Ah, yeah. Renata seemed to have fun too. I listened to a couple of old jokes, smiled back and pretended to hear them for the first time. It was clear that being warm and friendly was all part of her job, but there was a sense that Renata was speaking completely sincerely. I decided not to abuse the bartender's time, especially since alcohol was not the best idea for a date. Come on, man. I can still go back to the bar though. Alright, I'll talk to you. Welcome. Is this your first time here? I would have certainly remembered you. It's nice to see such a fine-looking man in a hole like that. Don't talk about your place like that. My name's Henry Locke. I think you can just call me Henry. There's only about an hour left before we start, so I'm sure someone will be late. Make yourself comfortable. If you need anything, you should ask me. The living room is yours, and the bar is on me. Renata will make you a cocktail that just makes you want to live here. Introduce yourself? It is rare that I would approve of the decor in a place like this. There was no modern plastic, no high-tech, not much glass. The furniture was mostly made of different types of wood. You don't like wood? What's wrong with wood? The interior seemed to be something between a saloon from Clint Eastwood movies and a late medieval tavern. The only one who looked out of place was Henry himself in his shiny shoes with his huge hand around his brand new tablet. It was really too early. I gotta figure out a way to make time pass. Okay. I'll sit on the couch. Getting drunk before the date wasn't in my plans, and the climb through the woods made me a little tired. I stayed on the empty couch, noting its excellent quality and its harmony with the interior. I had something to occupy my mind. I couldn't remember the last time I'd gone on a date. Maybe I should think of some sort of plan in case the conversation doesn't work out. I don't know what kind of girls come here though. Maybe they're all different. Maybe I should think about myself, how to introduce myself and behave properly. Hey man, if the conversation fizzles out, all you have to do is say, how about another drink? That'll get it started again. There was a wide mirror in front of one of the walls, where I could see the mess on my head. The wind had made a mess of my already bad hair. At least I noticed it. My grandfather used to call that hairstyle an explosion in a macaroni factory, or welcome to my cave. After fixing my hair, I examined my look from all angles and went back to waiting on the couch. Explosion in the macaroni factory seems a bit brutal. I shouldn't go to the bar so often, but I like the bar. It's fucking awesome. Alright, let's go outside, I guess. I noticed that the wind had increased and the first clouds appeared on the horizon. It looked like a thunderstorm was coming, an exceptionally rare thing in our area. I caught a moment of silence and heard the sounds of waves crashing on the rocks and the call of a lone seagull. After all, many residents had never visited this place, never seen the lighthouse, never breathed in the sea breeze. As it turned out, I wasn't the only one who went out to get some fresh air. A man in pants with braces was leaning against the front of the porch, and a young man in a long black jacket reading a book on the cliff. I quickly wiped the enthusiastic look off my face. Let's go for a date. Time flies so fast, I didn't even notice how the tourists left the restaurant, and the ladies took their seats. I quickly ran my eyes over and counted 4 of them. Someone was indeed late. Renata watched the scene playfully, and seemed even more interested than the girls. Henry waited until all the guys were back, and I stepped into the corner of the room to loudly greet the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? My name is Henry Locke, and it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you to my restaurant. You will not find a better place in the city to let your mind and body rest. A gorgeous bar, luxurious rooms, authentic surroundings, and of course, wonderful people are at your service. I'm sure you can't wait to get started, so let me remind you of our rules. First, ladies have their tables. Each couple has 10 minutes to talk. You talk about yourself, answer questions, and then pass the floor to your partner. The girls usually start. Is everyone ready? If so, please go to your tables. Use these minutes wisely and do not miss your love. Okay. This is getting intense already. I'm not sure if there was an age limit on the event, because the first girl didn't seem to be mature enough, just judging from the looks. I mean, there has to be, right? Legally, come on. She was sitting on the edge of her chair with her legs tucked up, wrapped in a pink blouse and her ridiculous round-rimmed glasses pushed up into her face. I tried to push the chair back as slowly as possible. It seemed that any harsh movement might frighten her away. She only responded by crouching and hiding her hands in the sleeves of her blouse. I noticed the first scratches on her hands. The conversation at the nearby table begins, and between us, on the other hand, there was an awkward silence. Hey, it's Velma. Hey, Velma. How's Scooby-Doo doing? She starts. Girls go first, they said. Let her start. I was just, hello. My name's Amanda. Oh, don't look at these scratches. My cat Fluffy is sometimes a little too wild when playing, but I still love him. I think cats are the cutest animals on the planet, only my mum disagrees with me. Yesterday my Fluffy climbed into the laundry basket and ruffled all of her sweaters and blouses, boy oh boy. When he hid under my blankets in the morning looking for protection, I just smelled trouble, and seconds later there was a tirade of anger from the bathroom. I laughed so hard. Do you have a kitty cat? I mean, yeah. Sure, the only people who don't like cats are those who don't like a cat's taste. Well, I don't like tasting cats, or I don't like what cats eat either. Like, my cats eat, like, dead birds and shit. Anyway. Well, thanks to some effort, the communication moved forward. Really, we needed to keep it moving forward because I couldn't survive a couple more sentences about the cat. Usually you get cats after a breakup or a failed relationship and not before it hasn't even started. Do you have a favourite anime? Let's go to anime. Oh, of course. These are the most perfect things in the whole world. How on earth can you not love them? I was watching something about a boy the other day. I just recently graduated from high school and there's this dorama. It's about parents scheduling their son's whole life. For example, they plan for him what job he is supposed to do and where he has to study without even thinking about his own needs and dreams. And he's kind and he respects his mum and dad and doesn't dare to cross them. So he works at a job that he doesn't like and studies against his will until one day he meets a girl. They go to karaoke and she convinces him to sing. He sings for the first time in his life and he turns out to have a wonderful voice. He realizes it's something he truly loves. I think plans and goals are illusions. We convince ourselves that we control our own destiny, but a chance encounter, one tiny event can change everything. Yeah, drifting. Sure. If you sit at home and watch cartoons all day, this position is very convenient. I don't quite agree, of course, but then again, didn't I think the same way at her age? Take a cat's hair off his sweater. Tell her we have a lot in common. Sure, we're both human and we each have a pair of legs and arms. I do have a tail and ears though, but I left them at home today. I was really scared to come in here. Am I wearing a tail and ears? I don't know, I haven't seen myself. I almost ran away when I saw the other girls. I'm the tiniest one here. By the way, what brings you to speed dating? Hey, it's a day off, why not try something new? The bell rang and it was time to change the person I was talking to. I said goodbye to Amanda and wished her good luck. She waved back and headed to the next table. Later, someone in baggy clothes from the local second-hand shop was coming to me. Dyed hair, bangs covering half her face, and an uncaring stare down to the floor. I immediately thought of subcultures that I had thought had died out decades ago. Not really, it seemed like. It turned out they were hiding on speed dates. That's fucking brutal. Judging by her pale skin, it was rare for the girl to get out of her sanctuary. When she sat down across the table, she flashed me a glance and hid her hands in her pockets. All that was missing was a backpack with a cape with K-pop band badges, a fishnet wristband, and a necklace with a peace symbol in it. Hey there. Weren't you the one-eyed one in Futurama? What the fuck? Hi, I'm Hugh. What's your name? Dana. Very detailed and informative. And usually they leave all the harder stuff for the end. I have to figure something out ASAP, otherwise the remaining 9 minutes will seem like an eternity for me. Tell her about my trip to the rock concert. Let's do that. I see. Wonder what question she would not answer, this briefly. What's your favourite music group? Fallout, lol. A moment later, she asks a question herself. How do you like all these people here? You mean here or in general? Whatever. There's nothing to talk to me about. Nobody's really gonna like me. Yeah, and of course you have no idea why, don't you? How can I approach her? I decide to look around as if ignoring her. So we're in the same boat. The girl seemed to glance at me for the first time since the conversation began. Maybe it was because of the lights, or maybe I was just tired, but at that moment she seemed extremely attractive. Her clothes were slightly oversized, her slouching posture and her gothic makeup didn't let me appreciate her looks, or her silhouette. Maybe I'm an optimist or a romantic, but I assumed that a slight change in style would make her a worthy competitor to the other girls. And as my dad used to say, morning is the great equalizer. It brings all ladies to their common denominator. The bell rang and the men switched tables. For a moment I caught a nostalgic feeling from some time in my school days. The next girl sat down upright, her hands folded on the table, looking at me attentively. No challenge, but rather with curiosity and interest. In a strict suit, with a neat high hairdo and a white blouse buttoned up with all the buttons, she gave the impression of the ideal girl to meet my parents. The girl who would modestly and patiently answer her father's inquiries and would take it upon herself to help her mother in the kitchen. Hey there, my name's Agatha. I'm a doctor. I dare say my previous vis-a-vis has already used his entire collection of medical jokes. But if you'd like to crack one, I'm all ears. Laughter and amusement are rare in my line of work. Pardon me, I've been going on and on about myself. What do you do for a living? Well, if it's not a secret, or if you don't want to talk about it, we can just talk about something else. Tell her about work? That's really awesome. Nowadays it's rare to meet a person who knows how to create and produce something with his own hands. It's a magical profession. What is my job? I don't know what my job is. What do you think of the medical profession? Most important profession in the world on an equal scale with teacher? Let's go with that. A peculiar answer. Thank you for your honesty. Often we are asked to do grandiose accomplishments. I'm a very small, unremarkable person and just don't know how to do anything else. A crazy, huge world is whizzing around somewhere. I just want to have time to help at least some people in my short life. I'm sorry, I've been drawing too much attention to myself again. She's like Maria Theresa herself. She says it sincerely. I go ahead and carve a patent frame for her portrait right now. I'll hang it in the bathroom and look at it in the morning, reminding myself that there are good people in the world. You gotta be able to keep that kind of gentleness in such a job. I wouldn't be surprised if she actually works as a pediatrician. That would explain a lot. Tell her what brought you to speed dating. Ask her what brought her to speed dating. Ask how she feels about the event. Let's go with that. I think it's a great cultural event. The pace of life today is so dynamic and fast-paced. People don't really spare themselves, and there isn't time left for personal things. Sometimes you just want to lie on the grass, to have calm and easy conversation without having to think about all the time and daily life. Don't you ever have such desires? It takes a lot to make a man out of a monkey. I can also relax on the grass if only I had someone who could join me. Let's go with that one. Agatha looked away for a moment, and I glanced at my watch so she wouldn't notice. She'd think I was just waiting for the bell to ring to get away from her. There was less than a minute left. I need to squeeze something nice out of myself and end the conversation on a positive note. Agatha, you're a very kind and pleasant girl. Agatha was about to answer, but the bell rang, and it was necessary to change the pair again. I smiled goodbye. I have to part ways with her. This is the rule of speed dating. New girl gracefully sat on the chair with her legs up, deliberately moving away from the table. The edge of her dress, the colour of a moonless night, barely reached the middle of her seductive hips. It took a tremendous amount of strength for me to turn my gaze away. The girl had her hands clasped around her knee and played with her slipper. For some reason I imagined a weasel hypnotizing her victim with an intricate dance. Thinking about it, I almost knocked my chair over. If she noticed my awkwardness, she did not show it. She changed her posture and moved her chair closer to the table. As she did so, she casually tossed back her luxurious mane of hair, revealing earrings and a velvet ribbon around her neck. When I sat across the table, she tapped her fingernails on the table and pulled up her wine glass. There was an ocean of femininity lingering in her big brown eyes, which made me forget that I needed to start a dialogue. Oh, one of those ones. Uh-oh. Say hello and introduce yourself? What an original and unusual opening. I hope you won't ask me to do the same, but where are my manners? My name is Linda Blackwood, and yes, I do have that last name. So, what is there to talk about? I haven't been on a date in like 10 years. Wrong guy to ask, this is my first time here as well, let's improvise. Well, you may start improvising then. I think you're the one to play the man's part. Fuck it, why don't you do the man's part? I'll do the woman's part. Let's talk about something harmless and uninviting and very serious. We're adults, right? I don't like her, she's a smart ass. Do you have a tattoo? I have a tattoo. Want to guess what it looks like? Maybe an animal? Is it a panther? Wow, that's very close. So you think I look like a wild, ravenous cat? He's probably stalking her prey for tonight right now. Yes. But of course, I'm not going to tell you what kind of tattoo I actually have, and you certainly won't know where it is. The night promises to be a long one though, so many things might happen. I had no idea where I was even going to end up this morning. First time on a mass date, by the way. Do you remember your first time? Mass date? Like right now? Prom? You might be the only one I've been waiting for. Okay. Not really, I was drunk and there were camera flashes clicking everywhere. This is personal, I don't think we're that close yet. Let's just go with the top one. Linda faked a yawn and reached up, stretching her arms upward, causing her breasts to pull her dress of the finest silk chiffon threateningly tight. I tried with all my power to think of something as trivial as possible to distract me and keep my mind sober. Linda lifted her glass with 3 fingers and took a tiny sip of wine. She licked the edge of her lips, savouring the taste of the rich drink, while looking at me. I noticed the perfect semi-oval mark on the glass, matching the outline of her dark red lipstick. Look her in the eyes with a challenge and withstand her gaze back. Let's do that. Well, the bell rang and I, trying to maintain gallantry, thanked Linda for the conversation. How quickly time flew by. Was this the 5th girl already? Maybe I just got too carried away with the previous gorgeous girl. Okay, I need to pull myself together. The girl in the cap, which was exactly what I'd call her, appeared before me. It was the first thing that caught my eyes. Does anyone else really wear such a piece of clothing? Usually girls try to show off their hair. I've even heard that a beautiful hairstyle is sort of a sex drive for some men. She has it all hidden right now. Was that really the way she wanted to appear on her dates? She looked very athletic and self-assured. Say hello and introduce yourself. I'm Amelia. Nice to meet you. Wow, you don't really look like someone who dates a lot. Sorry, that was tactless of me. Okay, how about I tell you about myself first. I'm a former professional athlete. Now I work as a fitness instructor in downtown city. Next time you're downtown, come by and I'll show you what a proper workout looks like. Wow, she doesn't even deny that she didn't come here to date. In fact, I too came here by chance. If you compare me to her, she's even better at playing the role of the occasional attendee than I do. I came here to socialise with other people. Oh, come on. Who are the people that talk to here? They're just like us. They came here by chance. A homely girl who has never been on a date like this before, a fancy model who came here for a separate purpose, a nurse intimidated by all you men, and a girl who can't get a word out of her mouth. It only made it even scarier to talk to her. It feels like walking through a minefield. What should I ask her to calm the situation? If I were your husband, how many children would you like us to have? Fuck, man, come on, strong one, don't you? Do you like any professional sports? She used to be a professional athlete, of course she does. What kind of men do you like? What the hell is that question? Not like you, for sure. He has to be sensual and self-sufficient, so I don't have to teach him everything and correct him all the time. And anyway, I want to know something about you too. Like, what do you do for a living? A fitter. I'm a serial killer looking for a victim right now. Oh man, I want to say that, but I'm not going to. A decent profession, so you can fix up an entire house by yourself. My father was a mechanic. He used to repair rare vehicles, so he never had time for me. Oh, we're just running out of time. Thanks for meeting me. That was cut and dry. We still had a little bit of time, but she clearly let me know that the conversation was over. She turned half-sidedly and glanced at the other couples who were having lively conversations. Hope to see you again. The dates ended, and the guys and girls, as if they were in high school gym class, went their separate ways. What am I doing? Picking one? Man, probably this one. I'll probably pick this one. Without wasting time, I headed for Agatha, trying not to meet the eyes of the other girls. Something about Agatha had changed. Barely visible, hardly noticeable. There was more freedom in her gestures, more movements, her face. She smiled, but not in a flirty or intriguing way. It was a warm, pleasant smile, as if she approved of my choice. So we're going to relax on the grass after all. Why not? A summer picnic on a sunny weekend? It's like when we were kids back in the day. I had a really nice time. Oh, that's not what I meant to say. I mean, it just sounded very sad and parting, and I don't really know how to say goodbye. I just wanted to say that no matter what happens next, I certainly won't regret knowing you. Gosh, here we go again. Oh my god, Agatha, darling, there's no time around anymore, no need to hurry. Oh, man, I don't like coming on that strong, you know what I mean? I'm glad I met you too, I'm having a great day so far. Agatha reached for her hair. I thought she wanted to let her hair down, but she just tucked a naughty red strand behind her ear. I hope this doesn't sound vulgar or offensive, but I have my car parked around the corner and I could give you a ride. If that's okay with you, of course. It's getting late. I don't want you wandering alone in the dark. Besides, they say it's going to get cold later tonight. You'll catch a cold and I'll have to take care of you. No, I mean, of course, I would love to. Oh, but if you get sick, I won't be happy. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, sometimes I'm better off not saying anything. You decide if you'll excuse me for a second. I won't be long. She got real awkward all of a sudden. Knocking heels, Agatha maneuvered between the guests and tables. Modest people usually behave quietly, inconspicuously, and the shoes clearly attracted the audience. Maybe she's not as quiet as I thought. Nearby someone coughed, indicating their presence. I turned around and saw Henry. Oh, I do believe this evening has turned out to be a great night for both of you. I suppose I can congratulate you? Overall, how did you enjoy the event? How were the girls? What was the most pleasant and most unpleasant to you? Yes, loved it. Definitely recommend to my friends. 5 stars. Now stop asking me. I'm not going to follow you on Facebook. Fuck off. Oh god. Good thing I got my umbrella. A heavy rainstorm was raging outside. Puddles grew wider. Thin brooks were rolling down the slope, and water was rushing down the slopes like a waterfall. Take Agatha under your arm and let her carry the umbrella. Thank you for your concern. I also thought of that, but for me it's really awkward to spend the night in a place I don't know. Same for me, I just don't want you to catch a cold though. Agatha got in the driver's seat. She started the engine and in a few seconds we were out of the parking lot. It wasn't a long drive to the bridge, but in this weather we drove slowly. Soon we arrived at the bridge, or rather to what used to be the bridge. The bridge was destroyed and our car was stuck in a mud puddle. I decided to check what had happened to the bridge, and whether it was possible to pass. When I opened the door, I immediately stepped into a puddle and realised that the concept of waterproof shoes was not used by the salesman in the literal sense. We stopped a few... then what is it? Theoretically? Theoretically this is waterproof. It's not actually waterproof, but in theory it's waterproof. But it's not waterproof. We stopped a few meters from the water, but what I thought was a puddle in fact turned out to be something more grandiose. The river had burst its banks and completely flooded the nearby lowland, and the only bridge. Like in a Hollywood disaster movie, we were cut off from the rest of the world by a huge chasm. It was impossible to get out to the other side. I heard the smacking of someone's shoes. Probably the driver of the car following us decided to have a look around too. A car honk sounded, scaring both me and the approaching driver. Agatha must be worried about my health. I turned around. The driver turned out to be Linda, hiding under an umbrella. The only driveway was blocked, and there was nothing left for us to do but drive back. I hurried back to the warm car seat, and we went back to the restaurant. We were the last ones to arrive. This has got a Vigilant Villa thing going on now. That's kind of how Vigilant Villa went. Renata and Henry gathered everyone in the main room. Renata gave us a towel. Apparently we weren't the first ones who got completely soaked by the rain. She was obviously going to say something, but because of her modesty, she couldn't make up her mind. Listen, where's Dana? I already checked upstairs, but I can't find her anywhere. The car is still parked out there too. Oh yes, you're right. The 12th person is missing. Who the fuck are you? Oh, you're one of the dudes. But when the dates were over, she was standing right there in the corner with the rest of us. I exactly remember it. We saw her last. I mean, some of us had tried to leave by car earlier, but came back afterwards. Didn't she go with anyone of you? Let's think this over. She's not in the building. Her car is still there, so she must be outside. You're like Sherlock Holmes. Henry slapped the door. She's not on the porch. It's raining so hard, only a psycho would go out there. She could have gotten lost, and it's cold and scary out there. We gotta save her now. I've got flashlights in my car. I'll go and look for her. Who will join me? I'm with you. The tracks are washed away, but at least I remember the area well. There's almost nowhere to hide. Oh, come on. She'll get here by herself. Find something else to worry about. She'll just get a little more wet than usual. I agree with the cat girl. Maybe she's just sleeping in her car. What could go wrong? Anything. Maybe she slipped and fell. Maybe she rolled off a cliff. Boys, it's very cold out there and it's raining badly. Does anyone have an umbrella or a raincoat? I mean, you had an umbrella, right? Wait a minute. I've got some raincoats here somewhere. 6 of them, if I remember correctly. 6. Nice. We can have another 4 people come along. I'm in. I just wish I had some other boats. I think I can find some. Go search for the others. Agatha is right. Anything could have happened to Dana. I'm with you. We have to be careful though. It's very slippery and windy out there. Someone could easily get hurt. Agatha came over to me with one of Henry's raincoats and helped me button up. Be careful out there. Don't be out there for too long. I'll be alright, and you find us a cute room in the meantime. Great. That makes 5 of us. Raindrops were drumming on my polyester raincoat, and I could barely hear Justin's directions. The plan was simple. We would have split up to cover more territory, but we wouldn't go too far, so we wouldn't get lost and still make it back in time. It was evident that Justin had some experience in leading. However, why he never thought to explain the plan in warmth and silence remained a mystery to me. Hugh, I'll go to the parking lot. I have to get the flashlights out of the car. Go to the smoking lounge. The smoking lounge. Or the cliff. Actually, we need to wrap this one up, really. Let's go to the cliff. I'll check out the gully. She could have slipped and rolled down. Alright then, be careful and don't be out for too long. I have to remind you that cell phones are useless, so don't go too far away. Roger. Tightening my hood, I went to the ravine. I was cold and covered in goosebumps in a matter of seconds, and only my favourite jacket saved the situation. My boots had soaked up with water and were making a nasty smacking sound with each step I took. The wind grew stronger as I approached the gully. I could even hear the dreadful sounds of waves crashing on the rocks. What a nightmare to be at sea in such weather, and no one would have warned you of an approaching storm. I stopped for a moment and strained my vision. There was something ahead. Lightning flashed, and in its glow I saw a purple cloth. It was caught in a bush on the ledge and fluttering in the wind like a pirate flag. I walked carefully down the cliff, trying with all my strength not to slip. It was definitely hers. I looked around the ground and of course I couldn't find even a hint of footprints. My hands were shaking, but not from the cold. My mind drew a frighteningly accurate picture in an instant. Dana slipped and rolled onto the wet grass down the cliff. And as she got closer to the abyss, she tried to grab onto some branches of nearby bushes, and she couldn't get a grip. She had to take one more step forward in order to look down. There it was, the absurdity we dislike so very much when we criticize movies. I knew what I was going to see at the bottom of the gully, but for some reason, I couldn't force myself to step forward and look down. No idea how long I stood there like a statue with Dana's purple fabric in my hand. At some point, something did push me forward. Streams of water flowing from all sides quickly filled the hollows, and huge puddles widened at the bottom of the gully. I leaned over the cliff, but I couldn't see anything. I looked more closely and realized that there was no one there. No one had fallen there, so I must have been afraid for nothing. Suddenly there was something pressing hard against my back, and in the next moment the free-falling feeling overtook me. I was falling headlong, and while dropping down further I could see my whole life go by in front of my eyes once more. It felt like time went by in slow motion, and the fall wouldn't stop. The ground was coming closer, a touch, a crunch of vertebrae, and I vanished into obscurity, as if someone had pulled down the curtain. Dead! But that seems like the perfect time to wrap this episode up, because we are out of time for today anyway. But that's very interesting indeed. I should have saved though. But I'm interested, I'm intrigued. I gotta see more. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you'd like to see a full playthrough of it when the game comes out. If you want to see more of the demo played, shit, I can do that too. But yeah, you gotta let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.